everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
At the Mar-a-Lago Super Bowl party, after the first two quarters, are the TVs going to be on the halftime show with Bad Bunny or the halftime show with Kid Rock?
I think the president would much prefer a Kid Rock performance over Bad Bunny, I must say that.
Super Bowl Licks is right around the corner, and everyone's excited for the Bad Bunny halftime show. And by everyone, I mean the radical woke communists who hate America.
The NFL just chose the Bad Bunny Rabbit, or whatever his name, this guy who hates ice.
And he doesn't sing in English.
Someone who hates America.
Who wants to watch a man wearing a dress anyway?
The lyric is, where are the horny ladies? One more dance and we're going to call the Vatican. I was in hell when I found a devil. I mean, is this who you want as your halftime entertainment?
So yeah, there's no way Americans are going to want to watch a performance by the most popular musician in America. But good news, there's a halftime alternative. And it's not just turning that 7-layer dip into a 7-layer poop.
If you want to tune out the woke nonsense that the NFL is promoting during the halftime show, then tune in to Turning Point USA's All-American Halftime Show. Their lineup just dropped, friends, and it's fire. Now this Sunday, Patriots like Kid Rock, Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, and Gabby Barrett are performing right when halftime starts for the NFL.
Man, that is a real who's who of who? We've got Gabby Barrett, Brantley Gilbert, Garby Billett, Billy Garbett, Breely Grabbers, Bobby Glaber, Gaggy Bobbles, Barnacle Gasperty, Babette Gingletree, Hologram Hulk Hogan, Gregory Banklebob, Kid Rock, and Kid Rock's father, Adolf.
So the Trump fans are still saying they're going to boycott the Super Bowl, and now Turning Point USA has just announced their lineup for a Super Bowl halftime show. And if you're expecting it to be pathetic, you'd be absolutely right. They said the lineup for the All-American halftime show is here. Watch Kid Rock, Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, and Gabby Barrett this Sunday. I'm not trying to be rude here when I say this. I'm not trying to be like that. I have no idea who any of these people are except Kid Rock. I thought they were made-up names. I mean, seriously, Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, these cannot be real people. And they're excited about this halftime show? What are they doing? So look, if the MAGA fans want to subject themselves to whatever the hell that is, I implore them to do that. That's great. Go have fun. The normal people will be watching the Super Bowl, will be watching Bad Bunny and Green Day, and all of the great artists perform while they do that.
I'm going to just say this. You can't rain on a parade. I mean, it'd be just like any other concert. It's just during the halftime show. I mean, let them have their fun, okay? Like, everybody don't like Bad Bunny, and who cares? You know what I mean? I really don't care. I'm not looking forward to it at all. You know, I'm not looking forward to Bad Bunny at all, honestly. I mean, I barely watch Kendrick Lamar, so it's not like the halftime show or the Super Bowl, for that matter, is that popular these days anyway. But we're still going to be watching it. We're still going to be watching the Super Bowl, whether we're sitting around having a few beers and drinking and talking shit, or we're going to be actually tuned in. But if they want to turn the channel and watch the All-American Turning Point USA, let them watch it. I mean, they're going to be sitting around cheering. I mean, if that is going to show that how American they are, that they will turn off football to turn on an All-American Turning Point if that proves how American they are, let them do it. Because whatever makes you feel good, whatever makes you sleep at night, that makes you feel like you're an American. But although they say it's woke America, it's not woke America. They were very upset about this. Was doing this is Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance last year. Really set off the I don't know what to call them, the MAGAs. Set off the MAGAs. It really set them off. MAGA Mike was upset about the Kendrick Lamar halftime performance. So, you know.
White House officials say ICE agents will be at the Super Bowl this year. The big game is coming to Levi Stadium in Santa Clara in February. Special government employees at the Department of Homeland Security, Corey Lewandowski, made the comments on a podcast saying there is nowhere that you can provide safe haven to people who are in the country illegally. Not the Super Bowl, not anywhere else.
You literally gonna have ICE. Now, I would say that anyone who is at the Super Bowl and is not an illegal citizen, or is not a legal citizen, is absolutely insane. You're not a legal citizen, but you're at the Super Bowl. I don't think that's like the right place to be shaking down people for honestly, because it's Bad Bunny is the only reason why they would do it. Because it's in California is the only reason why they would do it. It's a real shitty thing to do, but it's right up the MAGA train's alley. To put a big ICE presence where there's a Latino performer. You know, I think anywhere that there's going to be a Latino performing, you'll see a heavy presence of ICE from here on out. And I believe ICE is just going to get bigger. And it's unfortunate, the terroristic stuff that they doing. ISIS terrorists. ICE is turning into ISIS, honestly. But hey, look, it is what it is. This is what America is resulting to, and we got to live with it.
The NFL's nightmare scenario has officially arrived. A few days ago, we discussed reports that fans were planning to tune out of the Super Bowl halftime show in protest of Bad Bunny. But now, that protest has evolved into a full-blown rival production with a star-studded lineup that's looking to steal millions of viewers away from Roger Goodell. Now, Turning Point USA has officially announced the launch of the All-American Halftime Show, and the lineup they've secured is sending shockwaves through the music industry. And we now know exactly who is stepping up to challenge the NFL on February 8th. The event will be headlined by Kid Rock, but he isn't doing it alone. He's recruited a powerhouse.
Listen, they're not stealing millions of viewers from the Super Bowl halftime show, okay? Mind you, it doesn't matter who's watching. Millions of people turn away from the halftime show anyway, no matter who's playing. Because listen, if you're not into whatever artist is playing, if it's not Rihanna or if it's not Beyonce or Michael Jackson, we're talking, or when it was 50 Cent and Eminem and Dr. Dre, I don't think anybody is, or Bruno Mars. Like, you really have to be a captivating artist to keep everyone in their seats during the halftime show. There's not very many artists. Bruce Springsteen didn't do it. Kendrick Lamar didn't do it. I can't tell you who else. Nelly and them, they didn't do it. Janet Jackson kinda did it. Who else? I mean, the list goes on and on of people who really did. I remember Usher was up there one year, skating around. Who knows? Like, we didn't sit there. We probably turn around and watched, was talking through the whole performance, and people shut up, this is my song. Like, y'all ain't never heard the song before. Just watch it and think about what he's saying.
Roster of country music heavyweights, including Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, and Gabby Barrett. So now this is no longer just a boycott. This is a declaration of war on the direction of professional sports like the NFL. Kid Rock, who's leading the charge, issued a blistering statement that
Yeah, if you even look suspiciously Mexican, stay your ass at home.
summarizes why this alternative show is happening. He took a direct shot at the NFL's choice of entertainment, contrasting his upcoming performance with what viewers can expect from the official broadcast. Kid Rock said, quote, he said he's having a dance party, wearing a dress and singing in Spanish. Cool. We want to play great songs for folks who love America. That comment about the dress refers to reports that Bad Bunny plans to wear a dress during the Super Bowl halftime show. We'll see what happens, but when you combine that with the fact that Bad Bunny has publicly criticized ICE agents and expressed fears about his fans being deported, it's clear the NFL is facing a massive cultural divide, with the organizers of the All-American halftime show leaning heavily into that divide, billing the event as a David versus Goliath battle. But the reality is, Goliath is already stumbling. The rival show couldn't have come at a worse time for Roger Goodell because he's already dealing with the mutiny inside his own building. As we previously reported, ESPN has confirmed that prominent NFL owners are furious about the Bad Bunny selection. One anonymous owner reportedly told Goodell directly that he, quote, should have thought through the decision better. They aren't just worried about the culture war, they're worried about money for the NFL. The NFL is currently trying to close a massive ownership deal with ESPN that requires government antitrust approval. The owners are terrified that if Bad Bunny turns his halftime show into an anti-Trump political rally, President Trump will retaliate by killing the ESPN deal. So now Roger Goodell is fighting a two-front war. On the inside, he has owners warning him that the halftime show might cost them billions in business deals. And on the outside, he now has Kid Rock and Brantley Gilbert stealing his audience. And this rival show isn't just streaming on a smartphone. They've secured major distribution. The show will air at 8 p.m. Eastern, directly opposite the NFL halftime show on YouTube, Rumble, and X. But perhaps the most concerning for the NFL is it will also be broadcast on cable television through Sinclair Broadcast Group's Charge Network, which is available on major services like YouTube TV, Hulu, and Sling. This gives the millions of Americans who feel alienated by the NFL a legitimate, high-quality place to go. And President Donald Trump has already signaled his distaste for the NFL's selection, calling it ridiculous and stating that he doesn't even know who Bad Bunny is. Now the president and his supporters have a tailor-made alternative featuring artists who have been unapologetic about their love.
But he knows who Lee Bryce is. He knows who Brantley is, or who?
Love for America. This also explains why stars like Brantley Gilbert and Lee Bryce were never in the conversation for NFL events. The industry has simply moved in a different direction. But these artists are proving they don't need the NFL's permission to put on a massive halftime show. So the choice on February 8th is now official. You can watch Bad Bunny and Green.
They're not putting on an NFL halftime show. They're putting on a show during the halftime for people who want to watch them during the halftime. They're not putting on a halftime show. They're not even at the game. You weren't invited. That's it. That's all. Move on, folks. Like, it's okay to have a concert and you don't want to watch the NFL. Okay, great. That's awesome. But to compete with the NFL because you want to do this, it is the only thing I can think about is they want to make it bigger next year. They want to make it bigger next year. This isn't going to keep up.
I think it's very ironic and frankly sad to see celebrities who live in gated communities with private security, with millions of dollars to spend protecting themselves, trying to just demonize, law enforcement, public servants who work for the United States government to enforce our nation's laws. And you didn't hear this same type of uproar from celebrities in Hollywood when the previous administration allowed an invasion of our nation's borders. I think it's very...
The rhetoric. You know, one thing is clear. One thing they said was Obama deported more immigrants, illegal immigrants, than Donald Trump. So where's the uproar with that? Joe Biden deported more illegal immigrants than Donald Trump. Where's the uproar with that? Well, if they did, in which the numbers show that they did, it seems they took a less violent, a more, a less political, and a more judicial way of deporting illegal immigrants. And seems to me that it was working to a certain extent where the numbers were inflated. But you can't, if the numbers were inflated, you can't use the numbers and say, oh, well, he did more, he deported more. Then you can't use those numbers. So it's either one or the other. Some people, some Republicans are saying, oh, they inflated the numbers because these were immigrants stopped at the border, so they just said that they were deported. But then they say, but they deported more illegals than Donald. So which one is it?
Everyday people.
Day and night. For some women, it can start working in as fast as 1 week.